It's time to get motivated and get to the money. What's up, guys? Eric Richardson here, the Money Making Motivator. Today, guys, I have a great video in store for you guys. I am going to talk about how you can make the most money in your 20s. I just turned 29 last week, and I'll be honest, my 20s, it was a roller coaster.
Go motivate, 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 get money.
I went from literally walking dogs, working a security job, doing DoorDash, doing Uber Eats, to now millionaire, over 30 streams of income, living life, and that all happened in a short time frame. So I'm really gonna talk into you guys, hopefully pour into you, and let you know how you can make the most amount of money in your 20s so that you can be set up for greatness. Now listen, we all here. In your 20s, you have a lot of time, you can figure it out. You know, these are your young ages. Go have fun. Don't worry about it. I'll be honest with you guys, do not listen to them. And actually, a great point of advice that I can give you guys is don't take advice. Especially don't take advice from people who haven't done it, people who are not balling, people who are not successful, people who have not simply done things that are successful. To be honest, I take pride in a lot of things that I do because I know that a lot of it comes from my own decision making. Because guys, to be honest, we live in the greatest age. We are in an age where whatever you want to find is out there online. So the first thing that I want to say is you have to work extremely hard at the beginning. Like I said, I went from doing DoorDash, doing Uber, walking dogs, doing all these gig jobs because I wanted to figure out how I can actually make it in life. Okay, I didn't want to get at a young age, I didn't want to get tied down. I went through working at Zaxby's, working at Penn Station subs, working these dreadful 9-to-5s, and I realized that at least with the gig job, I can have time freedom to absorb knowledge and make even more money than I did at that other job that was holding me back, to then set my life up. So at the beginning, you guys are gonna have to figure out in your 20s how you can make money and then absorb knowledge, and with that money that you're making, set up a future life. So at the beginning, guys, you're gonna have to be a slave for yourself. I'll be honest, especially if you're a man. In your 20s, quite frankly, you can't just live that lifestyle where, oh, I'm young, I'm gonna have fun, you're gonna party every weekend, you're not gonna do anything during the weekdays. You have to be a slave for yourself. Don't be a slave for anybody else, guys. Be a slave for yourself. And what do I mean by that? Guys, you're gonna work extremely hard. You're gonna work 2 times, 3 times harder than what you think you should do. You probably think, oh, you know what? I can go out there, get a regular job. You know, I'm gonna be fine working a couple of hours. Nope, because those who I'm talking to, you wanna be a millionaire, right? You wanna be a multi-millionaire. You wanna be a billionaire. You wanna be somebody. You don't wanna be an average person, because think about it. We have the majority, we have the minority. The majority of people, the average person, is not doing extra. The average person is going through life 9 to 5. You know, they're living their 20s, and then they finally realize and kick it in at 35, midlife crisis, and then they plan to retire at 65, 70, and then want to go travel. Who I'm talking to right now in this video, I'm talking to somebody who wants to live life in the 20s, who wants to make a lot of money in the 20s, who wants to be better and be in that minority, be in that top percent. Guys, I did it. I'm giving you the same blueprint that I did. I became a millionaire by the age of 26, and I literally went from doing Uber, DoorDash, security job. I'm telling you, work hard in your 20s. You're gonna set yourself up. Not only is this gonna separate you, guys, if you start working out physically, you're gonna get separated. You start making more money financially, you're gonna get separated. You start getting in tune with your faith, with God, with Jesus, you're gonna be on a different level. We're trying to be top percent in everything. We're trying to be top dog, and everything is full circle. It starts in that gym, it starts spiritually. Now your mind is sharp, because if we working out, we pumping everything to the brain. If we're in tune with our faith, all the visions is coming, all the work ethic is applying, and now we start seeing our life starting to align. So in the 20s, get that in your head. We are gonna start working hard. We're gonna be a slave for ourselves. We're gonna grind it out. We're gonna do everything possible. Everything possible, guys. I was going out cutting grass. My friend's house, I was helping with insulation in the roof. I was doing anything and everything that I could because I wanted to just make money and I wanted to absorb information. So at the beginning, you gotta be a slave for yourself. Another reason why in the beginning you need to be working extremely hard as possible, doing everything you can. I don't care if you're working 3 jobs. I don't care if we'll have a mentor and you're being an apprentice with with multiple people. You need to do whatever you can because you're in your prime years. First of all, the risk is extremely low in your 20s. If you're somebody who's in your early 20s and you try something and it doesn't work out, you have years ahead of you to figure it out. Opposed to somebody 35, 40, now they have all these responsibilities. I'm telling you, in your 20s, you are in your prime years to make money. You may not make the most money in your 20s, but you're in your prime years because the risk to reward is exactly where it should be. Low risk, high reward. Your early 20s, you can work hard. You can work as hard as possible, and then you can start getting to this money. And if it doesn't work, we can start redoing ideas. I'm telling you, I went through so many different business ideas until it finally clicked. Once it clicked, I understood the methods of business, what I need to do, marketing, communicating, networking, delivering high quality. I started applying that. That's why now I have 30 streams of income. But at first, it wasn't working. I came out with clothing brands. I came out with other tech companies that didn't work at what I'm doing. I tried doing a whole bunch of different real estate strategies, and still I started picking up. I got my Airbnb, I got my foreclosure business, I do my wholesaling, I do my fix and flips. Start figuring it out. But in your 20s, you're not gonna get it if you out here just living life, having fun, relying on daddy, mommy's money. So understand that, guys. And also think about this. This may not be everybody, but for me in my 20s, I didn't have a kid. I didn't have a wife. That just means that you literally need to be going 100,000 miles an hour. You don't have any excuses. So in these 20s, guys, we need to understand if we're trying to make the most money possible, we need to work extremely hard in the beginning. Next thing, we talked about this, guys, a little bit early. Absorb knowledge. If we want to become powerful, we have to become knowledgeable in all the areas that we want to dominate. So if we want to make money, start studying finance. And when I say studying finance, understand how it operates. You don't got to go to college and study finance. I'm looking for a guy in finance, 6'5". You don't got to do that. You need to understand what's causing currencies, current flow. You start looking at business different. You start going to a restaurant and start analyzing. Oh man, there you go to a smoothie company. Oh man, they're making a killing. I wonder what their net profit is, or cost of goods associated with marketing, and then this and these expenses. You start looking at it differently. Get into the habit of absorbing knowledge as much as you can in your 20s. Start reading books. I'm telling you, Think and Grow Rich, great. Always Selling, great. My book, The Power of Doing More, great. Just constantly, I'm telling you, constantly absorb knowledge, because with knowledge, you get power. I'm telling you, that is what's going to separate you. Most people in their 20s, they're just consuming a lot of content online for entertainment. But if we are consuming knowledge to become powerful in our 20s, you will become powerful. I'm telling you, you are a byproduct of what you put in your mind. So even now, when we're listening to these podcasts, when we're getting motivated, when we're learning things, this is what's going to separate us. So be a sponge in the early years. So whatever it is you want to do. So I picked up my first primary source of income that was high enough, where I made 6 figures, was a financial advisor. So I start absorbing that. I start reading books. I start watching movies. I start listening to podcasts. I start shadowing, being an apprentice. I did everything possible. I wanted to be the greatest financial advisor I could be. And in my first year working at a firm, I took them from 10 million to 20 million in the first year, 20 million to 30 million after that. I figured out what was lacking in that company, what I could apply myself, and skill sets that I could develop because I was ready to absorb the knowledge from all the big dogs. You have to earn your points at a young age. Everybody wants to be top dog, but in those early 20 years, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn your stripes. The next one, guys, this is what's gonna elevate your life. This is what's gonna speed up your life. MEA, money earning activities. If you focus on money earning activities, I promise you guys, right now I'm looking at my notebook. Every day I'm going through this, and I literally have my to-do list. I'm banging out MEAs. Now, here's the thing about MEAs. When I'm at home locked in, this is my MEAs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 items, money earning activities. Now, when I'm on vacation, it drops a tad bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going from 12 to 6, but I'm still executing even when I'm on vacation. Money earning activities are activities that are going to result into money, either current or future. So if you're working on your business and you're planning and you're doing ideas, that's an MEA. If you're literally servicing a client, that's MEA. If you're making content, that's MEA, money earning activities. You got to get to the money every day. So I'll be honest, this is your structure, and write it down. Write it down. Do not just put it in your phone, put it in your computer. We got to have it physical. We got to have that thing in tune with reality. Bring it to life. Money earning activities every day. If you plan out, what do I need to do today and I execute. First of all, that is releasing endorphins. You are literally giving yourself success, telling yourself that I executed today, and it is a fabulous feeling. You know how many people are going through life freestyling? That's the majority of people, but I'm talking to the people who want to be big dogs, who want to get to this money. Start writing down your MEAs, and I promise you guys, this is what I have recommended to a lot of colleagues, a lot of friends. I've had people who literally come to me, come stay with me for a few days and want to see what I do, and they see that notebook and pen is the mold, the foundation to everything. It's how I'm executing. They're like, yo man, how are you doing all this? How are you doing this, that, and the third? It's simple. I devise a plan. I see what I need to do. I write it down and I execute. Execution is the key, guys. And guess what? You can't just do this all on your own. I'm gonna be honest and talk to you guys. That's the number one thing that I pray for. God says you ask and you shall receive. I ask for execution at the highest ability. Lord, please allow me to execute on all the ideas that you have bestowed upon me. Please allow me to execute with no distractions. Please allow me to execute so that I can bring all of these ideas to life. Execution is key, guys. Next one, this is crucial. Live as cost effective as possible. When I look at my definition of wealth, that is when my income exceeds my expenses. I just recently saw a quote, and it said that millionaires are producers and average people are consumers. Once we start understanding that if you just consume, spending money there, you're not producing, you don't have streams of income, you're not gonna get to it. We need to live as cost effective as possible at the beginning. You shouldn't be going out to eat all the time. You need to start figuring out how you can cut back on that cost of food, because I'll be honest, in your 20s, that's the highest cost. You know how many people in their 20s that are in college, just got out of college, and they're getting a job, they're working 9 to 5, they're making $500 a week. With taxes, they're making $350, and they're going to Starbucks, they're going to Chipotle, they're going to all these places. Guys, inflation has went up, and the earnings haven't gone up. So while you're spending all this money on this, that, and the third, you're not making enough money coming in. So until you figure out how to have all those multiple streams of income, you gotta live below your means. I don't know if you guys know Julius from Everybody Hates Chris the show. I try to be like Julius. Even now, guys, frugal. You want to be frugal. There's gonna be times where you can spend that money and have fun, and I'll tell you guys in another video how we can do it properly under business write-offs. But at the beginning, when we're figuring it out, we gotta live below our means. You gotta put your head down. You gotta grind. You gotta get it out the gutter until you get to the top. Once you get to the top, then we can start doing that. But right now in your 20s, you can't be doing that. You shouldn't be going out all the time, spending all this money, wasting time. You are behind in life. We gotta understand, if we have an end goal, a destination to get to, and we're not there yet, we're simply behind. Even me, guys. I'm 29 years old. My destination I wanna hit is a couple hundred M. I'm here at a few M, but I wanna get to 100 M. So guess what? I'm not there yet, so I'm behind. People say, yo, you're 29, you've made millions. You know what I'm saying? How do you find yourself behind? It's simple. If I'm not there yet, I'm behind. All right, so we gotta get to the money. We want to get to a growth stage. Think about what's inside of you. You have the ability to be the greatest you possible. So you might look at your form right now and you might say, you know what? I'm not where I want to be. Physically, financially, mentally, spiritually, I may not be there. But if you can get that in your brain and figure out what it is and start thinking about it, you're gonna be in a growth stage, because you're gonna be growing every day. MEAs, executing, you're growing, you're getting closer, we're growing. We said, yo, I wanna get to 100 millions. I'm on a GPS. It might have said it's gonna take me X amount of time duration to get there, but that time is getting shorter and shorter, because you know what? I'm grinding it out. I'm growing. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to the money. And that's what we talking about. We're here to get into that growth stage. We got to move towards that end version of yourself. Whatever it is that you see yourself, we need to be moving towards that constantly, daily, because if you're not moving towards it, you are staying or you're moving behind, and we're not trying to get stagnant. In our 20s, we're trying to make as much money as possible so that our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, our kids are set up. Because I'm talking to somebody who is hungry. I'm not talking to somebody that's just satisfied with being mediocre and average. We're trying to be in the top percentile. So we got to get to that growth stage. And that leads me to tell you this. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody is coming to save you. There's nobody on this planet that's just gonna set up a business for you, fund you, you start making money, and boom, you're golden and you're skipping off to the sunset. If you are a man, you don't have the privilege of having somebody saving you. If you're a beautiful girl, there's men that can save you. But if you're a man, you gotta be accountable. You gotta understand that it is on you to run this money up. It is on you to come up with these ideas, to get in shape, to be in the best possible physique you can can be in, mentally sharp, physically sharp, spiritually in tune. Nobody's coming to save you. Once you realize that, boom, your life is gonna click, and it's gonna you're gonna take accountability, and it's all gonna be on you. And guess what? It's gonna feel so good when you get to the money, when you get to the success, because you know deep down inside, you are the product of that. You were the one who worked hard for that. There was nobody who funded that, who sponsored that. That was on you. You the one who put in that work. You the one who was working hard, getting your MEAs done. And that's why now you got the success in it. Tastes great. Next one, see tax strategies. At a young age, when we start running this money up, there's a lot of people who run the money up at a young age and you're just so naive, you don't understand it. You got to start seeking those tax strategies. Start seeking. Me personally, once I realized that in real estate, I start understanding. I'm like, yo, my grandpa told me that he owned a whole bunch of apartment buildings, and he was like, yeah, I never paid taxes. I never really understood how until I got into it. Start owning my short-term rentals and doing cost segregation analysis. You start making money and realizing write-offs, getting a vehicle that's over 6,000 pounds. You start looking at different tax strategies at a young age. Absorb it, because there's even people 40, 50, 30s that don't know about these tax strategies, and that can help you absorb money, because we want to make the most money in our 20s, but we also want to keep that money in our pockets. We don't want to just be making all this money, boom, tax bill comes, we got to pay the taxes, and we're just naive. We don't understand that we could have used certain tax strategies and could have saved ourselves. That's with the business expenses, the write-offs, the different strategies that can help us. We got to stack to the ceiling. Stack to the ceiling. That's what me and my friends always talk about. Stack the cheese to the ceiling. We should constantly think about stack mode. I'm serious. This page is called Money Making Motivator because you need to be motivated to get to the money daily. I get to the money every day. I'm constantly thinking, yo, I'm trying to stack it to the ceiling. If I'm spending money, it's going to be on either a life experience or business write-off. I'm not wasting money on nothing. I'm trying to stack. Income is more than the outcome. That's why I was talking about real estate. Very common way that we can go in, we can get tax deductions, we can build our wealth, we can increase our net worth. Also, in your 20s, you better start planning for the future. You better start planning for the future. Life insurance policy, investment account. Whether that's a self-directed IRA, 401k, Roth IRA, whatever it is, you better start investing now. You're gonna put yourself in a different level. Right now, I look at some of my colleagues and friends and family members, and I'm like, wow, you don't have a retirement account. I don't even have kids yet, but I got insurance for them. This is how you build generational wealth. This is how you start. I'm saying absorb knowledge. Try to be the best you can be, because I'm telling you, in your 20s, you start doing this stuff, you're separating yourself. Ascension, elevation requires separation. We doing stuff that the top percent do, all right? And that's starting at a young age on that. So last thing I want to say, guys, is envision that final form. Envision the greatest you. I remember, guys, I'm telling you, I'm working at Zaxby's. I'm coming home smelling like fried chicken. I didn't really know that I was gonna be doing everything that I'm doing now, like specifically, okay, you got your foreclosure assistance company, you got a men's luxury spa, you got properties on Airbnb, you got cars on Turo, you got a business consulting company, you got a tech company. I didn't know all the details, but I knew the final form was gonna be somebody in shape, somebody in tune with their spirit, and somebody running this money up. So envision that final form, guys. Keep that in the back of your head. Bring it to life. Write it down on a piece of paper and constantly seek that. We're in that growth stage, and I'm telling you guys, you're gonna run it up, you're gonna get to the money, and I want to hear about all the success stories. All right, guys, so share this video to somebody else that's in their 20s that is gonna motivate them to get to the money, because I promise you guys, you can do it. I believe in you. You should too. Let's get it.